Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to Dream Room. Have you ever looked at an old wooden pallet, a fallen branch, a weathered board, or even a forgotten tree stump, and wondered whether it still had one more purpose? Many beautiful gardens begin exactly this way, not with expensive furniture or complicated construction, but with someone who notices possibility where others see waste. Perhaps you live in a modest home with a narrow backyard, a small patio, a balcony, or only one quiet corner outside your bedroom or home office. Perhaps you enjoy saving baskets, jars, timber scraps, and old furniture because throwing away something useful never feels quite right. You may love natural textures and peaceful spaces, yet prefer projects that are affordable, manageable, and made with familiar tools. And maybe, like many of us, you want your garden to feel welcoming without becoming crowded, difficult to maintain, or too expensive to enjoy. Wood is perfect for this kind of transformation. Its grain, knots, curves, and weathered surfaces bring warmth that plastic decorations rarely achieve. A rough board can become a bench. Branches can become a flowering arch. A pallet can hold herbs, cushions, or garden tools. Even an old stump can become the most memorable feature in the entire yard. In this video, we will explore 8 beautiful and practical ways to use wood for garden decor, furniture, privacy, planting, and relaxation. Each idea can be adapted to your space, your budget, and your own pace. We will begin with the smallest forgotten object in the garden and discover why removing it too quickly may be a mistake. Before we begin, please subscribe to Dream Room and join us for more simple, natural, and affordable ideas for gardens, patios, bedrooms, bathrooms, home offices, and small spaces that deserve to feel truly special. 1. Turn an old tree stump into a natural garden feature. Before you remove an old tree stump from your garden, pause for a moment and look at it differently. What appears to be a rough, inconvenient piece of wood may already have the shape, texture, and character needed to become the most memorable feature in your outdoor space. I once visited a small garden where the owner had planned to pay someone to remove a weathered stump beside her patio. Instead, she cleaned the surface, placed a shallow clay bowl on top, and filled it with ferns, moss, and tiny white flowers. Within one afternoon, an awkward corner became a peaceful woodland display. It was simple, inexpensive, and perfectly suited to her narrow backyard. You can use the same idea beside a porch, garden path, bedroom window, or home office view. A sturdy stump can become a natural side table for a cup of tea, a base for a solar lantern, a bird feeding station, or a raised planter that reduces the need to bend down. A shallow hollow in the top can hold succulents or seasonal flowers, while stones, pine cones, and small pieces of bark can soften the edges. Do not worry if the surface is uneven or the bark is cracked. Those imperfections give the stump warmth and authenticity. Just check that it is stable, remove sharp splinters, and inspect it for active insects or serious decay. This first project teaches an important design lesson. Before buying something new, study what your garden already offers. Sometimes the feature you need is not missing at all. It is simply waiting to be noticed. 2. Build a comfortable wooden bench with storage. After transforming a forgotten stump into a garden feature, the next step is to create a place where you can sit, rest, and enjoy the space around you. A wooden bench is one of the most useful additions to any garden, but in a small patio or narrow backyard, it should do more than provide seating. A simple bench can be built from reclaimed boards, pallet wood, or thick timber, supported by sturdy wooden blocks. The open area underneath can hold firewood, watering cans, garden shoes, folded cushions, or lightweight tools that would otherwise clutter the porch or patio. This makes the bench especially valuable for viewers who live in modest homes and need every piece of furniture to serve more than one purpose. Keep the lower section open, or use widely spaced wooden slats so air can circulate around stored items. Raise the base slightly above the ground to protect the wood from standing water and damp soil. Before using reclaimed materials, remove old nails, smooth rough edges, and make sure every support is stable. Comfort is just as important as appearance, particularly for older homeowners. A wider seat, supportive backrest, and strong armrests can make sitting down and standing up much easier. Avoid making the bench too low, and add a removable outdoor cushion if the surface feels too firm. Place the finished bench where it faces something worth seeing: a flower bed, a bird bath, the evening light, or a favorite tree. When seating, storage, comfort, and position are considered together, an inexpensive wooden bench can become the most useful and welcoming feature in the garden. Create a vertical pallet garden for small spaces. Once you have created a comfortable place to sit, the next challenge is finding room for plants without making a small outdoor area feel crowded. For anyone with a narrow patio, compact courtyard, apartment balcony, or limited backyard, a vertical pallet garden offers a simple and practical solution. Instead of filling the floor with many separate containers, one wooden pallet allows you to arrange herbs and flowers upward. Lightweight pots, fabric planting pockets, narrow wooden boxes, or removable containers can be attached securely between the slats. Removable pots are especially useful because they make watering, pruning, and replacing plants much easier. Place taller plants near the top and allow trailing varieties to grow along the sides. This creates a fuller appearance while keeping the lower area open. Familiar herbs such as basil, mint, thyme, and parsley work well in this type of display. Petunias, small ferns, strawberries, and other compact plants can add color and texture without requiring a large garden bed. A vertical pallet garden can stand beside a blank wall, balcony railing, porch, outdoor dining area, or home office window. By drawing the eye upward, it gives the space more height and can make a small corner feel larger, greener, and more complete. Before planting, inspect the pallet carefully. Remove loose nails, sand rough edges, and avoid any wood that appears damaged or chemically treated. Make sure the structure is stable and securely supported. For viewers who want to grow more while using less floor space, this simple wooden feature turns an ordinary wall into a useful and attractive garden. 4. Build a rustic branch trellis and garden arch. After using a pallet to bring plants upward, you can continue adding height and structure with one of the simplest materials already available in many gardens: fallen branches and seasonal trimmings. Instead of throwing them away or purchasing a metal support, you can turn suitable branches into a natural trellis or a welcoming garden arch. Begin by selecting several strong, reasonably straight branches. Arrange 2 vertical supports with smaller pieces crossing between them, then tie the joints securely with garden twine or outdoor wire. The structure does not need to look perfectly symmetrical. Slight curves, knots, and irregular shapes give it the handmade woodland character that makes natural garden decor so appealing. A simple branch trellis can support peas, beans, jasmine, roses, or other flowering vines. Place it against a wall, beside a raised bed, or inside a large container where climbing plants need direction. As the leaves and flowers spread across the frame, the wooden structure gradually becomes part of the planting itself. Using the same method, you can create a small arch over a pathway or garden entrance. Add woven twigs along the sides to provide more support and decorative texture. This approach is especially suitable for viewers who prefer familiar tools and want to avoid difficult cutting or heavy construction. Smaller branch structures can also be repeated around the garden to connect pathways, planting beds, and seating areas. Over time, the vines will soften the rough wood and the arch will become more beautiful with every growing season. It is a gentle reminder that a useful garden structure does not always need to come from a store. Or, design a movable wooden privacy screen. As the garden begins to feel greener and more inviting, privacy often becomes the next concern. A nearby window, shared fence, busy road, or neighboring patio can make even a beautiful outdoor space feel exposed. Fortunately, you do not need to surround the entire yard with a tall and expensive fence. A movable wooden privacy screen provides protection exactly where it is needed. It can be made from vertical wooden slats, reclaimed fence boards, pallet sections, or woven branches. The screen should soften unwanted views while still allowing daylight and fresh air to pass through. Leaving small spaces between the boards prevents the structure from feeling dark, heavy, or enclosed. For a freestanding design, attach the screen securely between 2 sturdy wooden planter boxes. The weight of the soil and plants helps support the structure without fixing it permanently to a wall, railing, or existing fence. This makes the idea especially practical for renters, apartment residents, and homeowners who enjoy rearranging their outdoor spaces. Climbing plants, hanging baskets, herbs, or lightweight lanterns can be added to soften the wood and connect the screen with the surrounding garden. Place it beside a patio chair, outdoor dining table, bedroom window, or home office corner, where privacy matters most. Before adding decorations, make sure the base is level and the frame cannot tip in strong wind. Sand rough surfaces and check that every connection is secure. A carefully positioned privacy screen does more than hide an unwanted view. It creates a quieter, more comfortable corner where you can read, work, enjoy a meal, or simply sit outside without feeling observed. Transform wooden pallets and cable spools into garden furniture. Once privacy has made your outdoor space feel more comfortable, you can begin furnishing it with materials that are often overlooked. Wooden pallets and old cable spools are especially useful because their basic shapes can be adapted into practical garden furniture without requiring expensive materials. Pallets can become a low sofa, coffee table, potting bench, plant stand, or compact storage station. Two pallets placed together can form a wider seat, while another pallet can be positioned upright as a backrest. For a smaller patio or balcony, a single pallet may be enough to create a narrow bench or a simple display for clay pots and gardening tools. An old wooden cable spool already has the shape of a round table. It can serve as a side table beside a garden chair, a flower display, a small game table, or a decorative centerpiece. Adding wheels to a pallet table or storage station allows it to be moved when you clean the patio, entertain guests, or change the garden arrangement with the seasons. Outdoor cushions, woven baskets, clay pots, and a simple wooden tray can help these reclaimed pieces look coordinated and intentional. However, safety should come first. Remove all exposed nails and metal fragments, sand every surface that may be touched, and check that the wood is strong enough to support its intended use. Avoid pallets that smell strongly of chemicals or appear heavily contaminated. When several reclaimed wooden pieces are arranged together, they can create a warm and welcoming garden sitting room. The result feels natural, useful, and personal, without depending on costly store-bought furniture. Create curved raised beds with logs and woven wood. After adding reclaimed furniture to the garden, the next step is to shape the planting areas around it. Instead of building rigid square boxes, consider creating raised beds with the softer curves and irregular edges found in nature. Small logs, reclaimed boards, short timber sections, or woven branches can be used to define the beds. Arrange the materials along a gentle curve rather than a straight line. This guides the eye through the garden and can make a narrow backyard appear deeper and more spacious. The natural texture of the wood also helps the planting area blend with benches, trellises, and other handmade features. For older homeowners, raising the soil level can make planting, watering, and harvesting more comfortable by reducing the need to bend down. Where possible, make the edge high and stable enough to support easy access. A narrow wooden ledge along one side can provide a convenient place to rest tools or sit briefly while caring for the plants. These beds can hold herbs, salad greens, flowers, or a mixture of edible and decorative plants. In a small courtyard or patio, even one narrow raised bed can bring color and purpose to an unused edge. Good drainage remains important, so avoid placing the wood where water collects. When growing vegetables or herbs, choose untreated materials that are suitable for contact with soil. Because wood naturally changes over time, design the border in sections. This allows individual logs or boards to be repaired or replaced without rebuilding the entire bed. The result is a planting area that feels softer, more accessible, and naturally connected to the rest of the garden. Build a compact wooden gazebo or pergola retreat. After shaping the planting beds, the final idea brings the garden together by creating a sheltered place for rest. A compact wooden gazebo, corner pergola, or simple canopy can turn an unused part of a small backyard into a peaceful outdoor room without making the area feel crowded. The structure can begin with 4 stable wooden posts connected by overhead timber pieces. Keep the roof partially open so fresh air and natural light can still enter. In a narrow garden, a corner pergola may be more practical than a large freestanding gazebo because it uses space that might otherwise remain empty. Climbing vines can be trained along the posts and overhead beams, gradually adding shade and softening the wooden frame. Bamboo shades, outdoor curtains, or a lightweight fabric canopy can provide extra protection from strong sunlight while keeping the retreat open and comfortable. Underneath, place the pallet sofa, storage bench, wooden spool table, or garden chair introduced earlier. A vertical planter or movable privacy screen can be positioned along one side to create a more protected feeling without completely enclosing the space. Lighting can be arranged at 3 different heights. Add small solar lights near the ground, gentle lanterns around the seating area, and warm lights overhead. This makes the retreat useful and inviting after sunset. The finished space can become a place for morning coffee, afternoon reading, quiet conversations, or a few peaceful minutes after working in the garden. Even in a modest yard, a carefully planned wooden shelter can make the outdoors feel like a natural extension of the home. Conclusion: natural materials, small spaces, lasting beauty. When we look back at these 8 ideas, one message becomes clear. A beautiful garden does not always begin with a large budget, perfect materials, or professional construction. It often begins with a simple decision to notice what is already around us. An old stump can become a natural focal point. Reclaimed boards can become a comfortable bench with useful storage. A pallet can lift herbs and flowers into a vertical garden, while fallen branches can form a trellis or arch that becomes more beautiful as plants grow across it. Wooden screens can bring privacy to a small patio. Pallets and cable spools can become practical furniture. Curved raised beds can make gardening easier, and a compact pergola can create a peaceful outdoor retreat. These ideas are especially meaningful for anyone living in a modest home, working with a narrow backyard, decorating a balcony, or trying to make one quiet corner beside a bedroom or home office feel more welcoming. You do not need to complete everything at once. Begin with one project that matches your space, your tools, and your comfort level. The most important part is not perfect wood or perfect lines. It is creating a place that feels useful, calm, and personal to you. Now I would love to hear from you. Which wooden garden idea would you like to try first? And what old materials do you already have waiting at home? Please share your answer in the comments. And if you enjoyed these natural, affordable, and practical ideas, subscribe to Dream Room and follow the channel for more inspiration for gardens, patios, bedrooms, bathrooms, home offices, and beautiful small spaces.